Good evening, everyone. This is the February 12, 2020 meeting of the Urban Conservation Commission. This meeting is being broadcast live, Richard?
Yes.
And is also being recorded. It could be viewed at the town website, which is arborguide.com. Before I begin tonight's meeting, I'm required to ask if anyone in the audience is making a recording of this meeting. Okay. Usually, no one has ever said they did, but we still have to ask. So, the first item on tonight's agenda is a 7 p.m. public hearing. Michelle Tarian requests a determination of applicability to remove a dead oak tree on property located at 3 Jacobs Way in Auburn. Now, before we begin the meeting, just a couple of housekeeping, one housekeeping matter to take care of. Anyone who's going to present testimony or an application should sign the sign-in sheet that's on the table. And just in the interest of full disclosure, I have represented Michelle in other matters in my capacity as an attorney, and so I'm going to hand off the meeting to our Vice Chairman, Tom Fallon. I'm going to leave the room, so it's all yours.
Okay.
Hi.
Good evening. How you doing? Come on up.
Do I stand, sit?
Nope, sit right here. Just sign in.
Tom, there will be a little testing of the fire alarm system. So just
Okay. Sure.
Okay.
We might have a little loud, brief interruption, right?
Yeah,
It's okay. So,
Maybe we should.
I looked at your file. It looks like when you want to just explain to the board what you plan on doing. You just want to take a tree down.
Yeah, I have a tree in the back corner of my lot, and it's leaning towards another structure. So it's dead, so it has to come down, and the reason why I'm here is because it abuts conservation land.
I did go by and see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's dead.
I'm gonna
It's
take
dead
it.
It's
beyond-
dead.
And when we get these bad storms, I literally
I
just
did, yeah.
cross my fingers and hope it doesn't come down.
Because it's, how high is that approximately?
It's like 100 feet. It's
Yeah,
one of the
it's up
tallest
there.
ones.
Yeah.
So it could come right down here.
Yes.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. Yep. And I do have someone lined up to come do it.
How would they do that? Would they be from with outside? Would they?
Yes.
You,
So
and then
what-
reach in with the,
So what he said is when the ground freezes, so my lawn doesn't get ripped up, and neither does my irrigation system, he'd drive up, and I guess he has some machine, so he would attach the implements on the tree and then cut it, and then we'll just take it down that way.
like
So
crane and then take it down?
exactly. So the other house, and
So when do you tend to have that done?
as soon as the ground decides to keep frozen. So
Which-
yeah,
Which
It'll
next
be
couple
frozen
days?
Saturday,
yeah,
1 degree.
yeah. So
Yeah.
as soon as I get this expedited, I want to
Yeah.
get that done at ASAP.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Any questions from the board? Any comments from the public?
Won't take long to do that. Won't take very long to do that.
No, it
No.
shouldn't. Hopefully.
A couple
not.
hours. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, for me,
Here we go. Here we
No.
go.
okay,
It's working.
it works. Yeah, I mean, I'm speaking for myself. I don't feel like I need to go do a site visit. Anybody else here?
No,
And
I
so you
did.
can expedite it as quick as you can. so-
Okay, great. Yeah,
Um,
appreciate it. Yeah,
Yeah, look.
I did see it. So.
yeah. I'd rather
So-
spend the money
Yeah,
elsewhere.
when the
but-
ground's frozen, call the guy in, boom, take the tree down.
Great, thanks. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
she did a nice lineup here. She did a nice photo, a nice drawing, illustration.
Can I have a motion to close?
I
Make a motion that we close the 7 p.m. Determination.
And
I'll
can I have a
second that.
Okay, take a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
You're good.
None? It's a vote. Thank you.
So can I leave?
Okay.
or-
Yep, you're all
Go,
set.
bye. Thank you.
All set.
So do a negative, right? Good.
2 months to spare.
So Lizzie has been really good about doing our meeting minutes in a timely manner and sending them to us. And I think since we have a couple minutes before our next public hearing, I think anyone who wanted to make changes to the minutes has made them, correct?
I don't think they were in
I
it.
think they were, yes, they were. I know
fine,
many
so-
people also did.
All right, so, and that, if that's the case, is there a motion to accept the, our meeting minutes of January 22nd, 2020?
I make a motion that we accept the minutes of the January 22nd meeting as amended.
Okay, is there a second?
Second that?
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote. All right. So while I was outside, the gentleman who's testing the fire detectors said that he wanted to test them before he could go home. So hopefully he's completed his test and we will not have to be bothered by that shrieking sound anymore.
Oh, I should have that. I had it out of order.
Okay. The next matter on our agenda for this evening is a 7:05 public hearing, an application by Chad Boardman, an abbreviated notice of resource area delineation for a property located at 190 Washington Street in Auburn. Is there a motion open?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the vote. Good evening. Good evening. Did you sign in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Evening, my name is Travis Brown with Turning Point Engineering on behalf of the applicant Chad Boardman, Eastland Partners. We have filed an ANRAD with the commission, which you received with a plan that accompanies the project. This is approximately 53 and a half acre site with an address of 190 Washington Street. So just for orientation on the plan, Washington Street is here on the south of the plan, which is also known as Route 20. Route 90 Mass Pike runs in this direction here. So, like I said, this site is about 53 and a half acres. The topography drops off from Washington Street down to this valley here and then goes uphill to the rear of the property, creating kind of a valley, a low point where the wetlands have been delineated. Those have been delineated by B&C Associates. Field data forms have been provided in that ANRAD. There's approximately 180 flags on this site. Most of them are BVW flags. There's a couple areas which are hatched on this plan, here and here, that were flagged as bank only.
All right.
So defined channels, no bordering vegetated wetland associated with those. So we've filed an ANRAD, kind of procedurally how the commission wants to handle this with a site walk or whatever.
Well, that's exactly what we want to do. And I understand the weather is supposed to be decent this weekend, maybe a little cold, but no rain. So what would the board like to do? Is anyone available for a site walk this Saturday?
I am.
I'm available.
Okay.
Even though
So
they
can we schedule a site walk at 9 o'clock?
On
Would that
which
work for
day?
you? On Saturday?
On Saturday.
That would be the 15th, I believe.
That's
And where would be a good meeting point for us?
So
Where's the nearest landmark?
yeah. What is it? You're right.
So going under the overpass to 90, trying to think. So the self-storage facility is in that corner. It's
There was a
before
boat
you
there for
get,
a long time.
yeah, heading west. You know, if you got to that, you would have gone too far. So just before the overpass, if you're going west on Route 20.
Okay. All right, so 9 o'clock works?
Yeah, what I'd like to do is have the wetland scientist there too. Is there somebody I could contact here just to confirm?
You can
That
contact
works.
Ms. Bellis.
Okay. Get your information after.
Yeah.
Okay. So 9 a.m. on Saturday. Okay.
Ms. Grabowski?
Yes,
Well, wait, you know what? Before we get to you,
this is for this.
we're going to, wind up. Just hold on.
Yep.
Before we get to you, I'm going to ask if anyone on the commission has any questions. Okay. All right, Ms. Grabowski.
I have one
Oh,
question.
sorry.
Any idea approximately how many acres of
Right.
the wetland are delineated?
Yeah, there's about 13 and a half out of the...
Oh, wow.
Right, so there's about 40 acres of upland.
Okay. All right, very good. Thank you.
That's Route
thanks.
20.
All right, Mr. Grabowski.
B and C. I was the peer reviewer on the Oxford side of this for the town of Oxford. I would only recommend that you look at the 2005 delineation by Ecotech of this site, as when they flagged it in Oxford, I did not agree on 90% of the wetland flagging. In fact, in some areas, the flagging was 50 feet down gradient of what was flagged by Ecotech and reviewed by Margaret Washburn.
Hold it, for the town of Oxford.
I'm saying it's the same surveyors. All I'm recommending, you take a look at your old 2005 plan and lay it on top of that plan and see how close you see these wetland lines. That's all I'm recommending.
All right, so Lizzie, maybe you can pull the file, if you can find it.
Okay. 2005?
Yeah.
Okay.
And would it have been a
It
different,
was
same
Quinn
applicant?
Engineering who did it at that time. Ecotech again flagging. Washburn might have reviewed it for your town. I know she reviewed it in Oxford, but Quinn did the whole set.
Okay, yeah, I don't remember that filing, but of course that was 14 years ago.
That's all I'll say about that flagging.
Okay.
I guess there may be a little confusion on the property. So this property doesn't touch Oxford at all.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's the same plan that you're referring to or not. This
I
is
have-
190 Washington Street in Auburn,
I have no idea.
on Route 20.
Route 20, Mass. B and C were the flag, Eastland was the client, and that's why I figured it was the same.
It's a different property. Glenn.
Then B and C, if that's the same Dave that flagged it, I recommend you take a peer review of it. That's my
Oh,
recommendation.
thank you. Okay, so we'll see you on Saturday at 9.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you.
Just get your contact.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Oh, and we should also continue the public
No,
hearing.
actually, Mike, hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just a quick question.
Sure. Sir, who are you?
I apologize. My name is Michael Fulgenetti, and I live on Tuck Farm Road, in the abutting property, and I received one of your letters informing. Thank you so very much for that. I was just wanted to know what you propose to build, and second of all, where on this parcel would you be building it, if everything goes, and if you're approved by this board?
Yeah, at this time, Eastland's in preliminary stages of looking at it, so we're here just to look at the wetland line. You know, as part of this application, there's no proposal to do any earthwork or any building.
Okay, any other comments from the audience? Okay. You have a comment, sir?
Oh, not calling, I'm just,
Well, why don't you have a seat?
Come on in.
Get warm. Okay. All right. If there are no other comments, we should continue this matter to our next public hearing, which will be February 26th. Do we have anything on the agenda for that evening?
Yes, there is one RDA so far.
At 7 o'clock?
At 7 o'clock, yep.
So why don't we, with your assent, continue the public hearing on this matter to 7:05 PM on Wednesday, February 26th.
That works.
Can I have a motion to that effect, please?
I make the motion that we schedule a continuance of the abbreviated notice resource area implementation to February 26th at 7:05 PM.
Is there a second?
A second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed to vote? All right, we'll see you on Saturday at 9.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mass Pike on Route 20, coming up the hill. There's a boat sitting there forever. There's a big sign that it was for sale, Dartmouth College owned the land, and they're the ones that bought it, Eastland, the developers. And they're doing a big development. Aberdeen and Oxford, 300 houses in there.
It's on Washington Street. And American Washington. Oh, they did, all right.
Bill, are you here for 411 Leicester Street?
I am not.
Okay.
I am.
What- I know you are.
Yeah.
Are you here for anything that's on our agenda tonight?
We're not here on the agenda. I did send an email a few weeks back about revisions to this site, so we just wondering.
And what's the property address?
That one was 416 South Street. That's correct.
It's not on our agenda for tonight.
No, it's not.
No, there's nothing on the agenda.
Oh, okay.
We're looking to see what we
Yep.
need to do to either get on the agenda or...
All right, so this is interesting. This is the first time this has happened to me. So I've represented Mr. Tarian as well. So we have a full agenda for tonight, but we should be finished, I think, by 7:30.
Okay.
So to the extent that you want to have any discussions, that's fine, but I have to recuse myself.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay? Good. All right. So the next item on our agenda is 710 public hearing, Scribner Development LLC, request a certificate of compliance for property at 411 Leicester Street in Auburn. Is there a motion open?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so vote. Good evening.
Hey,
How you doing?
good, how are you?
I'm fine. So everything is built?
Yes.
Okay. And you provided an as-built for us.
Yep.
So that was very decent of you. Plus we required it. Can we go out and take a site walk on Saturday? You don't have to go if you don't want to.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's no grass.
Is there, that's all right. That's even better, actually.
I mean, it's seeded, but it's, you
All
know.
right. Is the house occupied?
No, they actually have a closing on, when's the next meeting?
The 26th.
26.
So
The
like
closing is on the
that
28th,
Friday?
but yeah.
Okay. So if there's no objection, we will take a visit on Saturday and we will continue this to February 26th at 7:10. Well, you know what? Actually, let's make that 7:20.
Okay.
Is that agreeable to you?
Sure.
Is there a motion?
I make a motion that we continue the hearing for Scribner Development, request for certificate of compliance, to 2/26 at 7:20 PM.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed to vote? All right, thank you.
All right.
And like I said, you know, we've got the plan. If you can make it, great. If you don't, that's fine too.
Yeah, I won't be able to make it on Saturday.
All right, very good.
For the storage place too.
Walk around.
I understand.
The storage
Okay,
place,
perfect, thank
leave it
you.
on the highway.
It's a mess.
All right. The next item on our agenda is 7:15, public hearing. Grant Kowalski, EBT Environmental Consultants, requesting a certificate of compliance for Diamond Buick GMC Pontiac Cadillac LLC, located at Faith Avenue in Auburn. Is there a motion open?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Votes. Good evening.
Thank you, Conservation Commission. Glenn Kowalski from EBT Environmental. Thank you for the site inspection that we had with the commission on Saturday. Was it 2 Saturdays ago?
2 Saturdays ago.
2 Saturdays ago.
Yep.
We did supply, there was some question about stormwater. I did send, I'm not sure if it was passed out to you, I emailed stormwater to the board today. Stormwater, both from Waterman Associates and from HS&T, just explaining that obviously sometimes there's planning board requirements for yearly maintenance reports for BMPs. I went to your office, reviewed your files, could not find the 2007 Cullinan Engineering file for the Cadillac dealership area, but because I wanted to wrap all three together. Cullinan, HS&T, which is HS&T was revised May of 2011. The Waterman Associates, February 2013. Here's a copy of it, but again, we could not find in that file the Cullinan information. Part of that thick file of different projects is missing, but I'm sure the planning board, I recommended through my email today that if you did want to look at the 3 stormwater BMP requirements, then you would just pull the Cullinan. We did have Helgerson, when we had met, Helgerson had already hydro-sucked those catch basins out throughout the yards.
Right.
Here's a report for the board on that, to just show we're doing it. And again, my thrust of the project originally was to stop sediment from going into Eddy Pond. We had that 78-foot-long delta, 40 feet wide, 7 feet deep, 3-to-1 slope going into the pond. Of course, it was 395, but it was Faith Ave. It was the projects upstream from Prime down. And now that we have a new roadway, the town, as in Waterman's BMPs and statements, yes, the town takes care of their catch basins. Diamond takes care of his on his different sites, and we'll have a better product. We now run replication wetlands, the wetlands from Prime up above, now pass through our replication area at the top in the west, and then it goes through the pipe system, runs through the second replication area on the east, near right adjacent to the cloverleaf. There was some question about how many plants we put out in the replication areas. We have New England wetland plants. Their listing of what we bought up above, there was 92, and again, I don't know if I have to, it's many different bushes.
You don't have to tell
I
us.
don't have to. Just say that there's 2, 4, 6, 7 types of woody plants, and then the cinnamon fern, alders, and speckled, and then down below there was 80. We didn't find any die-off up above. We did have those mice chewing on the bottom of the red maples. The commission so required, we would replace some red, maybe with something different, because that tender stalk of red maple, when you get a snow cover up on top, the mice moles go underneath, and I've had it before on, at Worcester Biotech Park, I had them eating the bark of green ash before, so they do get in the snow and they start chewing on that tender green. And
But the trees didn't seem to be affected.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying, I'm just, in case there was a concern,
Uh-huh.
we're ready, we'll replace them if there was a concern. They've had 2 years in there, they're living fine, the bushes are all in good shape, there was no chewing on that. Apparently red maple's a little bit tastier. And so that, the sedges and rushes, the herbaceous layer was abundant, more than 75% cover. We just repaired, and I only have it in my phone, that basin at the top where there was a little erosion on the eastern basin at the top of the slope. We went in with Select Rock yesterday. I asked Gavage Construction to get that done before this meeting. I worked with them yesterday, making sure that we had the Select Rock that wouldn't blow down the slope. We relined that basin, took out that smaller 6-inch minus, and rebuilt the basin edge, the outflow with the Select, they call it, 10 inches greater, and also the chute going down. He actually had it too high yesterday morning. I had him lower it so it all blends into that ramp going down to the wetland. It's stable now with rock, and sizable rock that won't move.
Okay, good.
I think, and I had that report.
Right.
One last little point, I suppose, the rain that we just had, again, these were photos of it with water. Water was flowing again. On Friday, we had that rain event, and then we had another one, I believe, Monday and Tuesday, because I had sediment over in Webster. So the basin, these replication areas are holding water, colloidals are dropping out from up above, and that's the point of these channel systems that originally from Margaret and eventually from the requirements of your agents and from design of Waterman. And I'm not sure, one little sad note is Mike Scott left Waterman.
Oh, he did?
He did. I just found out like in the last week or two.
Is he on his own? Or?
I don't know. I was asked that question. I was going to call Brian Waterman, but just the point that he's no longer there.
Well,
And he was a good engineer. Very good engineer.
He was.
And I think that was about it.
So anyway, we took a walk to the Allison. Michelle and I made a walk and took a site visit a couple Saturdays ago. The replication area is well established. And, as you probably know, Ms. Kravosky, the board has had a sort of a tortured history with this site over many, many years, and sad to say I've been involved, I think, in most of them. But I was pleased to see that I think the roadway was built. I mean, I think aesthetically it looks better. I think the replication area is well established and is thriving. And I think all the work that was proposed and needed to be done has been done. So, I think they've done a good job in meeting the goals of the project. And speaking solely for myself, I'm pleased that I think we're, at least with respect to those areas, and I know you're going to come again before us
Parking.
on the parking lot adjacent to the area. We're pleased to see that we've reached some sort of conclusion. Do you have any comments, Michelle?
No, I thought it looked good too. Everything looked like it was pretty put back together.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
So is there any discussion from the audience? No. Yeah.
Oh, the sill removal. Sorry, one question. I'm sorry, and you might have actually touched upon that. That was supposed to be, we were supposed to put it, or it was already in the check on the silt, right? In one of the reports. Didn't he say that we were supposed to be checking on the...
That was the stormwater.
The stormwater, solid.
Reports were, if I could just bring that, just not that you're Oxford or anything, but in Oxford, where with United Rental, I have that site, Baker Tank, and a few others. We're required, Mike Tuffley out of Seal Beach, California, we're required, that's the owner, United rents from us, that we're required in January every year to give a stormwater report to the commission just to show that we're doing our job, and that's why I was bringing in these stormwater BMPs, just to show, it's just another example, oh yeah, we're doing our job. So I just got back a hold of United Rental 2 days ago, where's our January report, because it's February for conservation. That's up to you, but that's how we keep track, or that's how that town keeps track of making sure people suck their basins out, clean their vortexes,
and do what's supposed to be done, so that, and whatever, sweeping. So it's just a checklist, it's not a big thing, it's a couple pages, but it keeps them honest.
Okay, that's good to know.
So that, you know, Judy has a little lip thing over there that if you should, in fact, I'll make a point, I'll grab it and I'll send it over to Beth, but we want to make sure Diamond stays. And last thing on the torture, when I was going yesterday through the file, was it Monday that you're open till 7? Monday? I did find more enforcement orders, and I kept going, oh, another one, oh, another one.
Yes.
That's all I'll say about that.
That's all you have to say.
I know.
All right, so with that said, is there a motion to close?
I'll move to close.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed to vote? All right,
Thank you again for your time.
Thank you.
very much.
Have a good night.
This is for your file, just to show that we're doing our job, it could be put in the file.
all right.
Thank you.
Is anyone coming from, is it DOT that's coming for the bridge? Anyone call you?
No one called me to let me know.
Did we tell them they didn't need to come into the next meeting or something like
It's
that?
possible.
I think,
I think we did.
yeah, we're gonna walk it,
did we-
just take a look and...
And have we?
No.
I think what we said,
we
I
needed a
think
file
that we
number.
established.
We still need-
Oh,
we need a
that's right.
file number.
Still
I
need a
think we
file number.
established we
Exactly
weren't
what
going to be able
the
to
file
walk
number.
it because
My
it was
bad.
too dangerous.
Okay, do we get a file number?
I reached out a couple days ago and they do not have a file number yet.
Okay, so
Keep me updated.
that makes it real easy then, doesn't it? So in that case, is there a motion to continue the public hearing for the bridge reconfiguration to 226 at 7:25?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote.
7:25 or 7:10?
7:25.
That's the only problem, is they don't have
So,
to, right?
I think that there's going to be, I've allotted 15 minutes for discussion for the ANRAD, and then for Scribner at 7:20, and then for the bridge at 7:25.
Gotcha.
I'm not even sure this is a public hearing, but the 7:25 public hearing for Washburn Commercial Properties, this is the enforcement order that we issued regarding the snow dumping. Is there a motion open?
I'll move to open.
Is there a second?
Second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed to vote. So anyway, Michelle and I don't know if Allison ever caught up with us.
Allison didn't catch up with us, but she did go there and
Yeah.
She took pictures, right?
she took pictures.
And so actually, when Michelle and I went there, after we finished up at Diamond, either through removal or through melting, all the snow or all the encroachment on the adjacent property on South Street had been removed. So, I mean, I was satisfied that, you know, the underlying condition had been taken care of.
Right.
So if, with that being said, is there a motion to, I guess, to terminate the enforcement order
I'll move to terminate the enforcement order on,
or withdraw the
or
enforcement order?
withdraw the enforcement order on,
505 Washington Street?
Street,
Yep.
Okay.
I'll
is there-
second that.
All right, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed to vote. And then finally, at the 7:30, this is Mr. Goddard. Mr. Fallon was kind enough to take a run today to take a look.
Did you?
And what did you observe, Mr. Fallon?
It looks good. Everything I saw before, except for the snow was gone and there was no trash in there from the last time that we went there, when we told them, you need to clean that up.
Okay,
So they cleaned it up.
Good.
okay.
all the trees are fine, turtles are okay.
I
Turtles are hibernating.
Wait, I didn't know I do a turtle
you do
check
the-
while I was there. I apologize.
Just
Really?
wanted to make sure.
Turtles?
I just wanted to make sure.
Hilarious. Is that... In that case, excuse me, there's no time for levity now.
No,
Much
okay.
later. Is there a motion regarding the issuance of a certificate of compliance for 31 Sword Street in Auburn?
I make a motion, we issue a certificate of compliance for 31 Sword Street in Auburn.
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's a vote. Okay.
Okay.
So, because these gentlemen have been kind enough to be waiting for about half an hour, maybe a little longer, I'm going to again step out.
Okay.
And then when you're finished, I'll be waiting.
All right.
Okay? So, good seeing you, Bill.
Good seeing you, Mike.
What are we doing now?
Good evening. Good evening.
Hi.
So this property is 416 South Street. There was a filing done actually by Glenn less than 2 years ago, correct? Yeah, 2018, for a single-family house, septic system, and a garage. So the septic system was like a pump system, and the grades just weren't. They didn't look well. So Bill decided to re-perk the lot a little further back, which we did in August or September of this year, and we did submit a new septic plan to the Board of Health, which was approved. However, the septic system, the orange is where the septic system was approved on the order of conditions.
Okay.
And the orange barn is also where the barn was shown prior. So we basically took those two and slid them back pretty equal, same distance apart still, but kind of just took them both and just slid them back further. So we're just wondering, if the commission is okay with keeping the same order of conditions, or what they'd like to do as far as moving forward. You just didn't want to go too far without bringing the commission up to speed. So the septic plan has been approved.
So this was the original location, but you moved it here?
Yes.
And this got moved to
Yes. Yep.
And it looks like everything's pretty much...
It's outside the
equidistant,
25 still, yeah.
Like it's the same
Yeah.
distance that it would have been here, so...
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take a look.
Yeah, it's just a matter of dropping off revised plans. I can do that.
That's all right, I have a pinched over my nose.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that yellow line is the 100-foot buffer zone.
Okay. And I'm sorry, you're moving, you're just moving.
Basically, these
Okay.
two are sliding like to here.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, speaking for myself, I mean, looking at what you presented to us, I don't really see it changing anything where we need to look at the existing orders and conditions and change them at all.
Right.
I think they're fine.
No issue. I have no issue.
Nope.
No issue.
Okay, so do you want me to just drop off like two
Yeah,
plans?
drop off sets, sure,
Okay.
to Lizzie, and, yeah,
All right,
good to go.
all right. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Should we do a thing where we amend the order, amend it? So it should, do we need to do any paperwork for that though? Showing that
The
we,
amendment would require like a legal advertisement. And
so we
Yeah.
don't have to do that?
Yeah, right, I think as long as there's not a significant enough change where we'd need to amend it, they moved it, as long as he submits a new plan showing the new location, the conditions are still
Okay.
the same, as far as like what we're requiring.
I think the amendment is more if it's like a change in scope.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay,
all right,
All right.
okay.
all right, very good,
All right,
thanks, thank you.
thanks.
Yep,
Thank you to the Conservation.
thanks, have a good night.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Then we got, at 7:35, a conflict of interest notice.
Oh, someone's up. Who's gonna take the class?
What's
Somebody
that?
want to go get him?
Yeah.
Conflict of interest.
You sent that email out, right?
Yeah. I also brought copies of, if you read it, and to sign that you read it.
Yeah, let me, you know what, I've been meaning to get, I apologize.
No, that's
It's sitting
okay.
there on my desk.
That's why I print them out, so just in
Yeah.
case there's, yeah. Here you go.
There you go, that way we sign them, give them to you now, and don't we have them.
Okay, go.
Thank you.
We do it?
This is for, you received a copy of it and you went through it?
Some of those are closed.
Thank
Oh,
you.
each one of us gets one?
Yeah, well, we got it as an email and I asked me, I had never sent it.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Excuse me. Okay, so. I'm
pretty sure I've already filled out one of these, but do I need to do it
I
again?
think I did too, but
I'm not
I will, it's
sure.
okay.
Yeah, maybe just to be safe.
So anyway, just to sort of summarize, we are required by state law to complete conflict of interest training every 2 years. And the way it's done is, it's not bad. Now you go online, there's a tutorial. It takes probably about an hour, maybe a little bit less. And I think it's always good as a refresher, so.
Oh, I'm
Yes, I
sorry.
know.
No worries.
I know that, yeah. But that's good, sure, yeah, I
So
remember now.
if any of you haven't done it and need to do it, please do so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. All right, so we have a couple of
Items.
things to take care of.
The first one was the one you accused yourself from.
Yes.
The request for determination of applicability.
So you need to
Have someone
make a motion.
can somebody make a motion?
I move for negative determination.
Yes, oh, that's right.
Okay, can I have a second?
So I'll second that.
Okay, do a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, let's vote.
And I abstain.
One abstention.
Okay. With respect to Diamond, is there a motion to issue a certificate of compliance?
Move to issue a certificate of compliance.
Before we vote on it, I would just like to include in certificate of compliance that that Diamond will actually provide us with a groundwater it's not really an analysis. It's really more like just a report indicating the steps they've taken to make sure that catch basins and drainage structures have been maintained and cleaned. So with that motion, my amendment, is there a second?
I second.
Okay. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's a vote. Okay.
You didn't
And
sign this, did you?
oh, is that for?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I did. So we have
We have another one, please.
I need a new one of those. Michael signed that one.
Sorry, I
Okay.
didn't even look at it.
Oh, which one's that? Oh, that's
That was
right,
for
you
the
couldn't,
negative
yeah.
determination.
Sorry.
That's okay. No, I'm glad you brought it to my attention.
No, hey.
It's all right. We have other paper.
Okay.
Okay, you should
Okay,
rip
that's
that one
for
up,
the
though. Like that.
No question about that one.
Okay. When in doubt, rip it up.
All right, certificate of compliance.
Okay. This one I can't
There you
sign.
go.
And he signed that one.
Thank
Okay,
you.
look at
Bada bing. Yes, that's right. Just make sure he doesn't get a stamp.
Keep him away from what? He's gonna sign.
Yes, because he'll sign anything that comes close. So I think with respect to Washburn, I think what we can do is we can just send a letter to them. So if you want to, put together just a draft and send it to me, I'll take a look at it. Just, we made a site inspection, so 2 Saturdays ago would have been January something. I don't have my phone with me.
I can't remember.
One.
No.
No,
No,
not
oh,
January
2
one.
Oh, I'm sorry, January, I'm
2
sorry.
Saturdays ago.
Could you make sure that even though that's cleaned up, that they shouldn't be dumping snow down there, though it's still a wetland, even if they
Yes,
leave
right.
it
So-
on their property?
Yeah, and you put something in the effect that, it is a well-owned area, they cannot dump snow there. So that actually, I'm trying to think what day would that have been. It was towards the end of
I
January.
want to say the 28th of January.
I think that sounds right.
Did you get February 1st?
I
No,
don't think
I
so.
thought
no,
it
it
was.
was 2 weeks ago.
That was
Hold
2
on,
weeks
I
ago.
think I can tell you.
It will be 3 weeks this Saturday.
3 weeks, then have to be, the first was, right.
So the
Till 25th?
25th.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that we made site inspection on January 25th. We found that the unpermitted condition had been remediated. We are lifting the enforcement order and don't do it again. Something like that. Okay. And there's an issue that's not on our agenda. I'm just going to mention it. We had, and you probably saw it too, we'd gotten, and Lizzie has gotten an email from Attorney Phil O'Connell, and it relates to property owned by a Darryl Ravati. So apparently what happened is that Mr. Ravati and his neighbor did a land swap, and he hasn't actually, we issued an order of conditions for his property some time ago. There's been no work done on the order of conditions, but apparently they are asking for a certificate of compliance, and because of the way the land swap was done, it just makes it rather confusing. So I spoke to Attorney O'Connell. He wasn't available for tonight's hearing. I think it may be more of, I just need to wrap my head around what property was actually swapped to determine whether that property was within the scope of the order of conditions. If it isn't, then I don't think there's a problem, but if it is, I think we may need to carve out, if there's no development being done on that particular parcel, we'll need to sort of carve that out, so that means like a legal description for the property. So I just want to bring it to your attention because it may come up on our agenda for the next time. I don't know, but I just, again, wanted to alert you to that.
This was the one, the swap part of the driveway for the backyard.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember that, yeah.
That was the one, that was,
Drove
I
by
think, the first
Drove by
sidewalk.
there last week.
Number?
It came out good.
86, right, still, okay, oh.
Yeah, the stream went through the middle and
Oh, yeah.
It's weird.
You
Way
give
down
me some
below.
driveway, I'll
Oh,
give you
the
the
tree.
backyard, the
Yeah.
tree was in the way.
Way down
Yeah.
the beginning of it, by the ridge,
Right.
okay.
Yeah,
We let
so-
her cut down the tree,
Yeah.
the driveway.
Only if the, yeah.
That's it, that's
It's
right.
way down there, that's right,
Yeah.
because it's...
And that was it's kind of weird the way the stream kind of ran right by
Yeah.
the property line, so, and I think across the property line too, so. All right,
That's where it was, okay.
is there anything else?
Do we need another order of conditions? I mean, yeah, a certificate of compliance
For
for
Goddard.
Goddard.
Forgot it right here.
Oh, yes,
31.
I'm sorry. I didn't get to that. So is there, we voted on that. We took it out of order,
did.
but we already voted on that.
We did.
Did you send a form around for
No,
Sword
not
Street?
yet.
Okay.
Did we receive an email about that development over on Laker there?
No, I haven't gotten
It
anything.
was something, I thought it was, I don't know.
On
It was just,
Blaker?
wasn't it from Darlene or something? It was just kind of like forward, like, oh, they're gonna come through, they're gonna do, what is it, 320 apartments or something?
When?
Where? I didn't get that.
I don't remember seeing that.
I didn't get it
I'll have to look.
either.
I know, I
think
didn't see
it-
anything like that.
I think it would
I know
have.
somebody
Okay.
died up at Blaker Street.
No, I know, right?
Attention.
Somebody died?
There was a death, and there's a Blaker Street address
Oh, really?
in the obituaries.
Oh, okay. You're not saying it was suspicious, are you?
No, not at all.
That's kind of what it sounded like.
Don't even insinuate that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure. Thank you.
Dun, dun, dun.
No. It just happened to be on the street, and went, whoa, Blaker.
Okay.
You're good. I think we're good.
Okay,
Last but
and
not least.
is everyone that wants to attend the MACC meeting signed up?
No,
Do that.
I haven't signed up yet.
Are you gonna go? You're gonna be on the fence?
Come on, you gotta go, you know the
You're gonna
food's
be in
good.
Cancun?
There's food around.
I'm not gonna be in Cancun.
Okay, I'm sorry, Cozumel?
No, I think I promised Eric that I'd go to Rangeley that weekend, but give me one more day, okay? I'll decide.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll decide.
Can't go.
For those of you who haven't gone, it is really worth your while, so.
Your way, yeah.
Twice, yeah, about 2 or 3 times.
Okay, if
It's
there's,
good.
I think
I've gone
you've already
twice.
signed, whoever wanted to sign up, signed.
Yep,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I'll
that's
go.
a-
I've got it,
Yeah.
I've got them.
if there's nothing else, is there a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Second that?
Wow, that was quick. Is there any discussion?
No, thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the vote. All right, thank you, everyone.